Welcome guys to the second lecture of explaining the best tactics book in the world, the Woodpecker Method. If you did not watch the first lecture, go ahead and watch it. We did puzzles 1 to puzzle 15, so that we did 15 positions, and now we're going to do an additional 15 puzzles. And you're going to see some patterns repeating, as I said in the first lecture, because the Woodpecker Method is essentially active recall about the best puzzles, and it will help you in your blitz, rapid, and also classical chess to see and identify patterns instantly. So this is position number 16. Also, let me just say one thing. I'm going to go back to the other books, How to Reassess Your Chess and 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Villa. I'm going to continue explaining these books. I just need to do maybe one more lecture of this book and then go back to the other books and then, go back and forth between the three books. If you did not see the other lectures about the other books, they are super beneficial for you guys. So go ahead and see the playlists, and you can support me by the subscribe, even financially. I'll put my PayPal in the description if you want to. Let's start with the 16th position. You've already seen something similar to this, so I'm expecting you to identify the solution instantly. So stop the video and find the move for white. Okay, so I hope you stopped the video. Here, the problem with the black position is that he pushed the f-pawn too early. He did not castle, he did not put his king in a safe place. So now we're going to simply... Wait, let me... We're gonna simply sacrifice our beautiful knight. And the idea is, if he takes, you go with check. He should run here, because if he runs to f8, this is checkmate. So he runs to e7, and here you give the check. He runs here, you give this check. He takes, you take. If he takes, it's checkmate. If he takes here, it's mate in 2. But let's say he takes the better, or the same, it's also mate in 2. So if he takes here, you give this, and he runs here, then you give checkmate here. And if he doesn't, so if he runs here, you give the check, he runs away, and you give the checkmate here. So the idea begins with pushing the f-pawn. If he pushed that f-pawn, he doesn't have a good secure king, so you attack his king by sacrificing the knight. And we're gonna see actually the best thing here is, after the brilliant move, the best move for him is not to take the knight. Okay, the best move is queen to e7, but still an annihilation of his king. Like, whatever he does, he goes here, for example, you just castle, and you're putting immense pressure on him, right? He's up 1 point of material, he's up 1 pawn, but even after he takes here, you sacrifice, and this is 5 points of advantage for white. So actually here, pushing the f-pawn just ends everything. Even if you don't take the knight. Wait. See here, if you take the knight, it's 100% over. You just go check and you look for your mate in 5. You have mate in 5 here. But even if you don't take the knight and you play the best move, which is queen to e7, it's still devastating attack. Let's say you give the check, he goes king to f8, you just castle, and in the next move you're gonna sacrifice, right? You're gonna sacrifice, and this is completely winning for you. You just do this. This is pinned, you cannot take it, right? So this is one of the patterns that we've already seen something similar to it. We've seen this push of the f-pawn and the devastating circumstances of it for the black pieces. If you're in the opening and you see black pushing the f-pawn, it's a disaster for him. So let's go ahead to the next position. This is the 17th position. As always, I'm gonna give you guys some time. It's white to move. Stop the video. Think about a move. Well, I hope you stop the video. Here, we always said that the way to think about the move is your king safety. Then, if your king is safe, then think about check, capture, and attack. So, is your king safe here? Yes, more or less it's okay. There is no direct check that black can surprise me with. Now the checks. Do I have a check? Yes, I do. What is the check? It's this check. The idea behind it is you give the check and you're opening it. You're opening the diagonal for your bishop to take the other bishop. See, these two bishops are looking at each other, and there is the knight between them. So if you move the knight with check, then the king, you win a pawn. The king comes closer. Then you take the other knight. He takes back. You take the bishop. His king must take. You're up a pawn, and his king is exposed. It's not in a safe place. So you have a big advantage here. But this is assuming that black plays the best moves. Black can blunder, for example. Here, black can blunder with this move. Right? King to b8. Why is it a blunder? Because now you take this with check. And you cannot ignore this knight because there is the queen. Right? If you ignore the knight, I'll take your queen. So you have to take back, and then I win a bishop. So I win a full bishop. So worst case scenario for white is you're winning a pawn and you're winning a game. Worst case scenario for, or best case scenario for white is that you're winning a full bishop and winning the game. So the whole idea is this discovered attack. If you have a discovered attack, try to take full advantage of it. So I hope you guys found this move. Let's go ahead to the 18th puzzle. Okay, here it's white to move. Right, it's white to move. We've already seen something similar to it. Stop the video. What would you play? Well, obviously, we've already seen something very similar to this in the first lecture. The idea is the black king, is not completely safe. This bishop is trying to pin our knight to our queen. But if we give the check, which is a brilliant move, if the king takes, then we take this pawn and give the check to the king. The most important thing is the check, because now he cannot take my queen because I move with tempo. I'm attacking his king. I'm checking him. And after the king moves back, we simply take. We can take with the queen or with the knight. So it's better to take with the queen here. And now you have an attack, an open attack on his king. His king is not safe. You won. You won 2 points material-wise. You won 2 pawns, and you're gonna win the game. But again, this is assuming he took, assuming that he took the bishop. So the king here actually is not obliged to take. He could simply move to the side. Right, and this is actually a better alternative for black. And in that case, you just bring the rook and you try to put more and more pressure on his king. For example, if he takes, you simply go ahead and double check him, right? You double check him and he moves here, then you can take this bishop. The same idea repeats. But here is actually a little bit better for black. Or it's almost the same. Yeah, taking the bishop is the worst. So the best scenario for black would be to go here. Then after he brings his rook, you simply don't take this bishop. It's a trap. Don't take the bishop. Just continue developing your pieces and try to protect your king. But as white, you have, when you see this, you have to take the opportunity. Just instantly see that this bishop will be taken for free. Check. Check again. He moves back. Initiative. You take with the queen for initiative, and you're trying to win the game instantly. Okay? So yeah, this is the 18th, I think, position for today. And the third for today. Let's go to the next one. So here is actually a black to move, so I'll flip the board for you guys. It's a black to move. Think about a move in this order. Is my king safe? And then what checks do I have? What captures do I have? And what attacks do I have, right? So stop the video and think. Well, first of all, there is a very beautiful checkmate that I could deliver here if this queen wasn't guarding this, right? I can give this check, but it's pointless. I can give this check, but it's pointless. He simply takes me. But this check would be checkmate and would be deliverable hasn't there been a queen on b3. So how can I get rid of the queen on b3 to deliver that checkmate? Also, you have to see that my knight here is free for the taking. The idea here is to sacrifice the rook. Rook takes e3. We are trying to take the queen's attention away from this square, from this square, so that I can checkmate with the queen. So now, if the white queen takes, I checkmate him. It's a deflection, right? The better, or the best move for white would be to take this knight. But then I would take this bishop, and I'm still demanding checkmate. Now with the protection of the rook, of course. Right? So here, the best move would be the queen coming back, but I would simply continue the game and win because I have extra 3 points, right? So here, in the beginning, black has extra 2 pawns. Here he won a pawn, and he's gonna win the game, right? Even if white played the best perfect chess. What's the idea here? Deflection tactic. Capture the pawn, deflect the queen from defending the checkmating square, and even if white takes this, you take this, and you're still demanding checkmate. You have the initiative. We talked a lot about the initiative in the book, How to Reassess Your Chess. So you're still having the initiative, and then you simply play normal chess, right? So I hope you guys found that position helpful. It will repeat also in the next few lectures. So let's go to the next one. You've already seen something very similar to this. Now stop the video, and what is the move for white? Of course, the move for white is knight takes g5, right? Why? Because after black takes, he didn't win a knight, he lost the game. It's mate in 5, check, he moves here, you give this check, right? Again, he probably will go back, so you give the check again, he comes up, you give this check, and it's mate in 3, because after here he takes, and then you take, right? And this is checkmate. It's mate in 2. There are 3 possibilities for the king. He goes here, here, or here. If he goes here, he doesn't just take me. Just take this with the support of the bishop. Oh my god. I can't believe I didn't see that. Okay, sorry guys. So The other possibility is him running here or here. We already discussed this. So if he runs here, you give the check. He goes here, you give this check. This is easy. Same thing if he goes here, you give the check. He goes here. Wait. If he goes here, it's the same checkmate. If he doesn't, if he runs here, you give this checkmate, right? So once this happens, once he takes this knight, it's over. It's mate in 5. Let's suppose black is smart enough and does not take the knight and plays the best move, which is, I think, this. Yeah, h5. In this position, h5 is the best. So if he plays this h5 move now, you simply fork the queen and the rook, and you're winning the game, and it's GG's for black. You're winning a rook, right? It's over. So after here, you just take. So we've seen this pattern repeat many times. Let's move on to the next position. And I hope you guys know what I'm doing here. It's active recall. The author wants you to repeat these things. Do not skip them. Keep thinking about these positions. Okay, I think this is the last position that imitates what we were talking about. This whole pattern of pushing the f pawn for black. What's the move for white? Try to calculate the whole line, guys. Try to calculate to the end how to checkmate the black king, because you already know that this is crushing for white. Stop the video and think. So here, obviously, you sacrifice the knight. Because you have this queen. But the difference now is you don't have this great bishop on c4, right? That's the difference. So is there really a checkmate, or is it just a good tactic to win material? Actually, there's no checkmate unless your opponent does a very big stupid mistake, for example. But here there's no checkmate. It's a brilliant move. Knight jumping there is a brilliant move, but it's only gonna make you win material, right? It's not gonna make you checkmate the black king instantly. So after he takes, you give the check. The king moves to e7. Now you give another check. The king moves back, and now you're trying to win his rook. You're trying to win his rook. How do you win the rook? Do you slide now here? No. Because then he could put the queen here, and we don't want that, right? We don't want, wait. Yeah, you give the check. If he goes back here, you don't want this, because after this, there's this, right? There's this, and then after you take, he takes with the check. So he has tempo now. He's attacking you. We don't want that. We want to take the rook, but without allowing him to have any attack. So concentrate on this. You give the first check, move kings up, you give another check. Now you don't go here, you move back, give him another check, and force him to be here, so that when you give the check now, the queen cannot block. He just has one move, which is move here. And then you can bring the other bishop, or you can simply take this this rook. But the idea is you don't allow the initiative. You don't allow the queen to come here and then to check you. Right? So the best move, of course, is here. Check. Then his best move is here. And then you take. But yeah, and he sacrifices. He has to sacrifice his queen. And the game continues. You can take with the pawn or with the queen. But the most important thing, guys, is remember, when you don't have this bishop here in the beginning, it's not a checkmate, but you're going to win a rook. How are you going to win a rook? Are you allowing him initiative? Are you allowing him to have his queen in the face of your king? No. So give the check, he goes back, then give another check. When he's on e7, then you give this check on e5. He has to move away, and then you take the rook. The best move, of course, is to check him with the bishop first. But the idea is not to let this queen come here. Okay. Let's move to the next position. I really like this book. I think it's very important for people who don't have a lot of time to review chess books and to read and to go through the lines. It's very important to have such a book that really trains the most important thing. It trains tactics. It's the most important thing. If you don't know a lot of positional play and you don't want to know a lot about it, you just want to bump up your rating, then this is the best way, right? It's just a lecture that you watch and you pump up your rating and you memorize new things and you have patterns drawn in your mind, in your what is called subconscious, in your subconscious mind. So here it's white to play. Stop the video and think about a move for white. So the first thing we see here is that the f-pawn is pushed. Black is in trouble. The queen wants to come here, right? Okay, how to do that? Let's calculate. It's tactics, so we have to calculate, right? Let's say I want to sacrifice the knight to allow the queen to jump to h5. Now, how do I do that? Do I jump here with the knight or here? Obviously, you jump here taking the pawn. Because first, you're winning a pawn, and second of all, it's more beneficial because if after I bring the queen here, he stops me with this push of a pawn, I can sacrifice the knight again. After he takes, I can take his rook. So let's suppose I play this and he doesn't take me. He knows it's a blunder, taking the knight. It's a blunder because there's the queen check, right? Let's say he doesn't take. It continues the game. So after I do this, he plays whatever, and then, so after I take this, he plays whatever, and then I bring the queen here with check. He wants to push this. So if he pushes this, this knight will take. And after he takes here, I'll take his rook, right? So here, let's say he doesn't take, right? Let's say he plays this, for example. So after check, he wants to do that, but he cannot, right? Because after here, this here. This is not the best line. I'm just thinking with you guys. I'm just trying to see what could happen. Playing it here is not the best idea because he can simply take, and after I do this, he just stops me. This is completely crushing for black. It's a blunder. So you don't sacrifice the knight that way, so you sacrifice the knight this way. This is the only way possible for you to sacrifice the knight and try to win the game. If you sacrifice it the other way, you just blunder. So try to calculate the whole line. Let's say here black takes. Then you go, here you go with check, exactly. If he pushes, trying to prevent you from checking his king, you simply give the check from e5. Right? And here he can only block. And the best way to block for him is with the queen. Then you take the rook and you're winning the game. Why it's better to block with the queen? Because if he blocks with the bishop, this comes with the check. And actually it's mate in 5. So after this, it's mate in 4. Right? Because now you can bring this knight, this rook, and he has to sacrifice the queen here. He has to sacrifice the queen, and you have mate in 4, right? So whenever the f-pawn is pushed and the king is still in the center of the board, you try to attack him. You try to sacrifice something, usually the knight on f3, to try to checkmate him. So here, if he does this, then this, and then if he does this, then this. Now, let's say black doesn't take. So let's pretend here black doesn't take. Sorry. Here, black, for example, plays bishop here, for example. Now it's still bad. Let's say he's thinking about this. Let's say black plays this. Is this a good? Yeah, actually this is the best move. So d5, attacking your bishop, what are you going to do? Actually here, when black plays the best defense, you play the best offense, which is queen to h5. And here the best response, I think, would be, you cannot go here because there's this. So I suppose you do this. You push the pawn. This is the best. Yeah, this is excellent for black. This is the best what you have. You're still completely losing as black, but after this and this, you as white win the queen. He wins your bishop. But overall, you're completely crushing. You're 7.8 on the eval bar, winning for white, because now you have this devastating check. His king is trying to run away. His position is very bad. He will eventually have to sacrifice the queen. And yeah, king safety is 0. Piece development is 0. He's going to lose this game, right? Okay, good enough. Let's continue with the next position. Okay, this is a very typical, I'm not saying typical what. I'm gonna leave you guys to think about what kind of move this is. Stop the video. It's white to move. What would you play? Okay, so is my king safe as white? Yes, my king is safe. But is king safety the only thing? It's the first thing we think about, but there's still plenty of other things. Check, capture, attack. My king is safe. Okay, now I'm good. Check. Do I have any useful check? No, I don't have. This is rubbish. He will take me. And that's it. I don't have any checks. Capture. Can I capture? Yes. I can capture this with my rook. I can capture this with my rook. I can capture this with my queen. Okay, let's think about them. Now, do you know what a hanging piece is? A hanging piece is a piece that is not defended by any other piece. How many hanging pieces are there in this position? There's this one and there's this one. And that's it. These are the hanging pieces for black. Now, seeing this file, if there is not for this pawn, I would take this rook and check his king, and the only way he can stop me is by putting his queen on the way, and I would take it and win the game. So if only I can get rid of this pawn, right? You actually can. You can deflect the pawn by playing the brilliant move Rook takes d5. Or I guess it's a great move, but we can call it a brilliant move here. Right? Why is it a great move? Because now, if he takes with the pawn, the scenario happens, he can only block here, you take, and you win the game. You have a queen, he has a rook. 7 points of material. You're up 7 points in material after all these exchanges. Now let's say after you take, he doesn't take with a pawn, he knows you want him to take with a pawn, and he takes with the rook. Then you take the rook with your queen. You sacrifice the queen, which is again a great move. And if he takes, then you take, blocks, and you have this bishop. He doesn't have a bishop, and you win the game. We deflected the pawn from that file to attack this rook, right? And we won the game. So actually, the best way for black to play this position is, I think, here. Yeah, this is the best way for black to play this position, but white's still crushing. It's 5.4 advantage for white, and you just won a bishop. So you can simply go back, for example, right? And you're completely winning this game. He can exchange. I have the bishop, I have the rook defending d1, so everything is fine. Alright, let's see the next position, guys. Here again, it's white to move. Try to analyze the position and try to find the best white move. Okay, I hope you guys stop the video. This is a Capablanca game, I think. Capablanca is with the white pieces. He plays the brilliant move. I actually didn't find it myself. It's a great move. It's an unorderly move, and actually it makes sense. It makes complete sense. So the best move here is knight to a4. Why? This queen is attacking this rook, and this rook is defended by this queen, and they're creating a strong battery on the a file. They're making a strong connection with each other. So how can I win his black rook? It's by ending this marriage between the rook and the queen. By stopping, cutting the connection between them. It comes with the sacrifice of the knight. Yeah, but what if black takes, then you take the rook? If black takes, then you take the rook. He took a knight, you took a rook, you're winning. But actually here, black found a very smart way to keep his rook on the board. He ran away with the rook at first, so white came closer to do the same idea, to do the same tactic, but then a black pushed this pawn, cementing his rook and defending it. So now you cannot take it with the queen, but you can take this pawn and attack this pawn and attack this pawn at the same time. So you still didn't win his rook, but your position is way better. You won a pawn, and now you're attacking. So even in the worst case, when black defends brilliantly, you're gonna win a pawn, and you're gonna win a better position. This is winning for white. It's 1.4 in the eval bar, right? Also, this is a great knight because you see it on the side of the board, but it can soon jump here, jump here. All of these loose pawns can be taken. It's better than this knight, right? So yeah, that was really an interesting position, sacrificing a piece just to cut the connection between a piece and another, because you can take one of them, right? It's a great idea. So now it's actually black to move, so let me flip this board for you guys. Stop the video. What would you play as black here? Well, first of all, you can see that there's no good checks here. You cannot give this check. You cannot give this check. It's just a blunder. He will take you and it's over. Can I capture? Maybe I can capture. I can capture this with my rook. I can capture this with my queen. But is really capturing this pawn worth it? In this position, is it really worth it? Is it worth it letting him start checking me with the rook and then the support of the queen coming? I don't think taking this pawn is worth it, right? Because as soon as you take, he will slide with the rook, you go somewhere here, and he will start harassing you with checks, so on and so forth, try to bring his queen. So not the best idea. Actually here as black, you have an advantage and you're trying to win the game. So the other capture was taking this pawn, and it's actually the brilliant move. That's the best move in the position. Why? It's because black really would like to take this check and to attack the king, and at the same time attack the rook. When the king moves, you take the rook. The only obstacle of that is this queen. So how can we deflect the queen from defending this square, this f3 square? Well, by taking the pawn and putting the queen under attack. If the queen takes, you go check. King's only move is going to g1. Then you check him again with taking the rook. So he has to move up, and then you simply go back and defend your king. And here you're up a pawn, and you're completely winning in this endgame, right? Or you're not completely winning, but you have an advantage. You're not completely winning. You have a serious advantage that you could turn into a win. So again, the brilliant move comes from the necessity of giving this check. As black, I really would like to give this check. The queen is stopping me. Let me sacrifice my rook, win a pawn. If white takes the rook, then I will take his rook and move back to the defense, and I'm up a pawn. So that's a great idea, right? I don't know if it's possible for white not to take here. Let's say white plays something like I don't know, maybe here, queen to g3. No, actually it's a miss. Yeah, the best move for white would be to take the rook. It's still a worse position for white to play, but that's the only possibility, right? So that's the best way white can defend this, and he's still in a worse position. So let's move on to the, I think 25th. I think this is the 25th puzzle in our book. This is the easy section of the book, but as you can see, the puzzles are not that easy. It's white to move here. Stop the video, and what would you play? Okay, so first of all, is my king safe? Yes, my king is very safe on h1. There are no kinds of sacrifices that might happen. Him taking this will not help him really, but it's white to move, so he cannot even sacrifice anything in the next move. I have the initiative here as white because I have these rooks on the f-file, eyeing the king, but he's also well defended with these two great knights. As you know, knights are great defenders, and his pieces are not really in a bad position because even this bishop is not looking at any of his pieces, and if his king, for example, was here, I would just jump here with check and take his queen. But I cannot move this knight in a way that it's concerning so that I can take the queen. I cannot move the knight with check to take his queen, right? That would be the first instinct that comes to your mind. I move the knight with a discovered attack on his queen, and I win the game. But if you move the knight anywhere without check, he will simply take your queen, and you become the losing part. Actually, the best way here to win material is not the check. There is no useful check. It's not capture. It's an attack. Just slide the rook over to f6, and this is a very smart move, right? This is a brilliant move because you're attacking this queen and this knight, right? This knight is now hanging after this move. It was defended by the queen, but the queen now has the rook in its face, and it should move. But you tell me, no, black actually can take the rook. Then you sacrifice the other rook. You bring the other rook to the attack, and you're again attacking this queen and this knight. So now his queen has to move away, otherwise I will take it, and you win the knight. Actually, you have to take the knight with this knight because it comes with more initiative. Both takes are good. You can take with the rook, You could take with the knight, both are good, but taking with the knight comes with initiative as you're attacking this rook, right? So you're putting him under more pressure. The best move for him would be to take, but then you can bring your queen here, and in the next few moves you can simply checkmate the king because you're attacking with this bishop, this queen, this rook, and this knight, and it's 6.8 advantage for white here, right? So the best defense for black would be here, sacrifice, you go here, he goes here, you take here, and it's 2 knights for a rook. And we're still in the middle game, so 2 knights are worth way more than a rook. And this is how white wins the game. Also, you have the initiative, you're attacking. You are the part that's bringing his queen in the next few moves. The idea is, you see this hanging piece after moving here, say, okay, his position is good, but what if I put his queen under pressure? It's always good to think about checks and think about the moves that attack his queen. Because the most important pieces in a chess game is the king and queen. So if there is no check, or there's no beneficial check for you, look for beneficial attacks on his queen. Especially when these attacks target the queen and another piece at the same time. Here, let him sacrifice, it's no problem. Or let yourself sacrifice the rook, let him take it, and then attack again with the other rook. He has to move away. He cannot move away here because it will be taken by the knight. It's also a terrible move to go back all the way there because you take and this queen is not doing anything. He has to revive it by moving it to h5. And when you take, it comes with tempo, right? So I want you to see the position again. You sacrifice. Best move is here. Actually, in the real game, Capablanca played bishop here, but it's not a great move. You can simply go ahead directly and take this knight. He wanted to attack the queen first. He wanted to put pressure on the queen, and here the engine is suggesting something like this. And after you take, he takes with a knight. White is of course still completely winning, but this is in case you play the inaccurate move bishop to d1, right? Otherwise, in all cases, you're still winning as white. If you find this first move, it's over for the black pieces. Yeah, so let's move on to the last few positions. I'm already seeing that this video is well over 46 minutes. I don't want to make it too long, but I want to finish the 15 puzzles for today, guys. Nothing can make me happier than some appreciation, some likes and subscribes and so on, because this takes some time. And I hope I'm explaining things clear enough. If you don't find my explanations good, you can just write comments and ask me about something, right? I'm not that great in chess. I'm a 1500 player who's trying to become a 2000 player. And that's why I'm doing all of this. I'm having the same goals and ambitions as you guys. And I'm trying to present you chess in a way that not a grandmaster, just a normal student or worker like you guys sees chess. I don't have that much time for chess, but I try to become a better learner. So I'm not a grandmaster again. I may make some mistakes, and I surely have made some mistakes, but I think it will be beneficial for you guys to watch these lectures. Okay, so here it's white to move. I have to branch. Wait a second. Okay, so again, it's white to move here. I think this is easy to spot, but stop the video, think about a move for white. Actually, the move for white is straightforward here. Sacrifice the queen. This is a brilliant move. I think you can see the rest, because after he takes with his queen, you fork the king and the queen, you take with check, and in the end you won a piece, you won a knight, right? So let's repeat again. You see this position, there's no check. Is there a good capture? Yes, capture this. If he takes, check, and then you take the queen. So you won 3 points of material, actually. Yeah, exactly. So this is easy to spot. The idea is a fork, a simple fork. This would be great in a blitz game. Sacrifice the queen for a minor piece. He takes your queen, fork his queen and king, and you win the game, right? Yeah. So let's move on. Here is black to move. Let me turn the position for you guys. Actually, in this position, white is up 4 points of material. So taking this bishop isn't really going to change things for black. So the idea is not taking the white bishop. The idea is deeper than that. So I hope you stop the video. The idea, first of all, is to see that this king is exposed. There's this great rook, there's this queen, and there's potentially another rook coming for the support. Since there are 2 rooks supporting this attack and one of them is inactive, how about trying to take this bishop not now, but later on with check? And actually with checkmate. Sacrifice this rook. Brilliant move. Rook to g2. Why is it a brilliant move? Because after the king takes, let's say the king takes, we'll go through all of the possibilities, but let's say king takes here. Then you give this check. After the king moves to the other file, you give the checkmate. Right? Whether he moves here or here, it's checkmate. If he blocks with the bishop, you take and it's checkmate. Right? He can block again with the queen. Of course, it's checkmate. So let's say now after this brilliant rook sacrifice, the king doesn't take, goes here. It's checkmate. So it's actually mate, right? In this position, after this move, there's nothing white can do. There's nothing white can do. This queen is helpless, it cannot do anything. So the idea is here, there's a useful check. We said you think check, capture, attack, right? You can check here and you can see the whole sequence. I hope you saw the whole sequence when you stopped the video. I don't want you to just stop the video and think about one move. No, I want you to calculate. To calculate until you think it's 100% winning for black. So here, for example, if you here take the bishop, it's not a good move. It's a big miss. You have to see the idea of activating the other rook. And after he moves, you checkmate. Right? Simple, but not so simple. Okay, this next puzzle is very, very, very interesting. It's white to move. Stop the video. What would you play? So, first of all, the white king is safe. And you have a pawn here trying to promote. you have an attacking knight, right? You have an attacking queen that's actually hanging now, and you have this great rook behind its pawn. The idea here is to see that the black king has very little luft, very little air to breathe. He's in the corner of the board, he's trapped by his own rook. He's also trapped by this pawn. So the situation for the black king is that he is suffocating. There's a serious attack by the white pieces. Do I have any checks? Yes. I have this check. But it's pointless because black will simply take and there's nothing after this check. You just move to the corner again and it's completely winning for black now. You sacrificed your queen for nothing. So sacrificing the queen on the g8 is not a great idea. The best idea is to sacrifice the queen on g7. It's a crazy move, right? Completely crazy move. And here black can take two ways. It's crazy that it's not a brilliant move. It should be a brilliant move here. If black takes with the rook, then you take with check and he cannot capture because it's double check. So the king moves here, the only move, and then you checkmate him on h8. The other possibility after g7 check is that he takes with the bishop. And here you take with checkmate. It's checkmate because you're checking him with this and this at the same time. You cannot take this because it's defended by the knight. I think this is the hardest puzzle for today. And it also shows you the beauty of chess. You actually don't take the rook. You don't take the rook and sacrifice your queen. You sacrifice your queen for absolutely nothing. Why? Because the king doesn't have space. So you suffocate him. If you take that rook with a queen, you give the king space and you don't have any real attack after that, right? So, I hope you liked this puzzle. I will repeat it again, quickly, very quickly. You cannot do this because there's this. So you go here, if he takes with the rook, check, goes here, checkmate. If he doesn't take with the rook and he takes with the bishop, it's instant checkmate. This is defended by this, so the king cannot take the pawn, and the king has no way to run because the rook is checking him. So, the last position for today's lecture, guys, is this one. And I think this is too easy. You'll see it instantly. It's white to move. What would you play? Yes, it's a discovered check with the knight, and then you win the queen. And that's it. Simply, it's completely winning for winning for white. It's a simple discovered attack with the knight. Yes, sorry, it's 2 a.m. so I'm a bit tired. So yeah, then you move back with your rook, and you're completely crushing, and you're winning the game. So today we saw position 16 to 30. I hope you guys liked this second lecture. Starting from the next lecture, I will add the number of positions so that you guys know where we are exactly. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this lecture. I will continue providing you guys with great chess content. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.